My young friends, for every illness in this world, there is also a cure. Whether we know of the cure or not, whether we have discovered the cure or not, this is entirely a different thing. But one thing is for certain, our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, Inna li kulli da'in dawa. For every illness, there is a cure. Whether this illness is of a spiritual nature, from greed, jealousy, hatred, backbiting, or whether this illness is of a non-spiritual nature, from your cancer to your diabetes, from your leg aches to your headaches to your backaches. Every illness, there is a cure. My young friends, there is this one illness that we all suffer from. To some degree, there is not a single human being that walks on this earth at this moment in time, as I address you and you listen to this reminder, who to some degree does not suffer from this illness. And this illness, my young friends, is of a spiritual nature. This illness is the illness of committing sin, the illness of neglect, the illness of turning away from the teachings of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the illness of not fulfilling our obligation and our purpose in life. There is not a single human being who to some degree does not suffer from this illness. The Almighty Allah, our Creator, our Maker, the Arhamur Rahimeen, the Akramul Akrameen, the Ajwadul Ajwadeen, the most merciful, the most kind, knowing that sometimes our desires will get the better of us. Sometimes our nafs, inna an-nafsa la'ammaratun bis-su' illa ma rahima rabbi, our nafs will get the better of us. Sometimes the shaitan, man's greatest enemy, inna ash-shaytana lil-insani aduwwun mubin, who's taken upon himself that he will try his utmost best by day and by night. He will work and he will try his utmost best to lead us astray. So sometimes the shaitan will get the better of us, and we, the servants of Allah, as a result, will turn to evil and sin and disobey the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our Lord Allah, the Arhamur Rahimeen, the Akramul Akrameen, the Ajwadul Ajwadeen, the most merciful and the most kind. Knowing this, Allah's made us with His own hands. He knows you and I better than you and I can ever know ourselves. He placed us in the dunya. He knew what we were going to do. Knowing this, that as a result of ignorance, the shaitan will get the better of us, the nafs. We will turn to evil and sin. My young friends, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not leave you and me so that this illness that we are suffering from, it keeps on eating away at our insides like cancer. Have you seen those that suffer from cancer? How this illness attacks from within, killing off the organs one by one, and before you know it, those that suffer from cancer, they've gone with the wind. History. Allah did not leave us So that this illness keeps on eating away at our insides like cancer, and all of a sudden one day we fall flat on our faces, never ever to wake up again. My young friends, the Arhamur Rahimeen, the Akramul Akrameen, the most merciful and the most kind, He loves you and I so much that He gave us such a medication that whenever this medication is applied with its condition, it will purify and it will clean our insides till our hearts will begin to glow, and you will return just like the day your mother gave you birth, free and pure from sin. No matter what the sin, no matter how big the sin, my young friend, you could have spent the last 20 years taking dope, selling dope. You could have spent the last 50 years gambling. You could have spent the last 100 years taking intoxicants and fornicating. No matter what the sin, no matter how big the sin, whenever this medication is applied with its condition, your sin will melt before this medication, just like the snow melts under the hot sun. And Allah, my young friends, is waiting for you. And whenever you decide, okay, you know what, now's the time for me to turn to my Allah. Whenever you decide, okay, Allah, I've had enough of the razzmatazz of the dunya, oh Allah. Oh Allah, I've had enough of disobedience. Oh Allah, I've had enough of the stresses of the dunya. Oh Allah, I want to embrace you. Oh Allah, I want a life of peace and contentment. Oh Allah, I want a life in which I embrace your beautiful teachings and the beautiful teachings of my beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whenever you decide to take that one step towards Allah, I swear by Allah, my young friend, irrespective of how you've lived your life before this, when you take that one step towards Allah with this firm intention, my Lord will embrace you with open arms, with His love, with His mercy, and with His compassion, and you will return after embracing your Lord free and pure from sin, just like the day your mother gave you birth.
Mm-hmm.